Good morning. Today we begin our 12th course, and we're going to have something special this week. We're working on Anuloma Pratiloma, Surya Bedna, and Chandra Bedna. But today and through this week, we're going to be practicing 3 minutes at a time with you being on your own. I'll start you off, but then you have learned enough now to continue to do the rhythm. Always take restorative breaths in between if you need to, but otherwise keep on going. So Kubera Mudra, the thumb touches the middle and index finger, and you put your pinky and ring into the palm. Thumb touch the index and middle, ring and pinky into the palm. This is the god of wealth, the god of abundance. When you practice pranayama, Kaya Sampat, the treasure of the body, starts becoming available to you. So take what we call the Sakshin, Kshin, the cosmic witness, the part of you that is able to observe everything impartially, non-judgmentally, and watch that abhinavesha, that anxiety, fear that comes up. It's inborn in us. We all have some hesitation about what is to come, especially in a time like now, where there's a lot of uncertainty. So also, being silent during your practice is another way of practicing satya, truthfulness. The control of our speech is one of the best ways of rooting out malice, which is any kind of abuse, any kind of obscenity, any kind of dealing in falsehoods, name-calling, gossiping, tale-telling, ridiculing others, especially what they find sacred. It's a tremendous gift that you can give to your own inner peace and to other people, because the words you say can hurt and not just heal. It can curse and not just bless. So you want to be a healing and blessing force, yeah? All right, so take your stance. Relax your belly with a few slow, soft breath. Remember, the belly or the abdominal area, the diaphragm area, is separating what is below the areas that are the dark, instinctual, infernal reasons, you can say, from the areas that are above the heart and the head, where the light reason, the ecstasy of the devas and the angelic beings are. So we're kind of like interfacing between these two and drawing the instinctual energies up. All right? So here we go. First 3 minutes is going to be Anuloma. Open nostril inhale, partially closed both nostrils exhale. Let's give that a shot. Exhale your breath, raise the hand, and begin. Open nostril inhale, and narrow nostril exhale. In Anuloma, exhale longer than inhale. Open nostril inhale, and narrow nostril exhale. Open nostril inhale, and narrow nostril exhale. All right, you're on your own. So while you're working this out, right, we say that prana is a friend of purusha. Purusha is a word they use for the witness, the consciousness that observes, doesn't actually act, but somehow it is the thing we try to get back to or to re-identify ourselves with. And prana, the movement of the life force through the body, that's your friend. Little by little, it helps you to raise the kundalini energy, the blocked potential that we have, up through the different centers. And when it enters the Sushumna, the central canal, and it ascends to the top, then you have the samadhi state according to yoga. So keep going. Don't forget to widen or narrow the nostrils as is necessary. But in the first technique, it's open nostril inhale, narrowed nostril exhale. Take restorative breaths in between if you need. And remember the dictum, one who controls the mind controls the breath. One who controls the breath controls the mind. See how they work together. Now, you're on your own, and that means you have to be monitoring with caution everything that you're doing. On any given day, if your pranayama becomes heavy and tight in your lungs, if there's any kind of harshness or roughness, overmuch, a little sound is okay. But then, if you're using sound as your guidance, you've got to stop pranayama that day, because that is not the right practice. All right, finish off this last minute of open nostril inhale, narrow nostril exhale. Remember, as you observe your breathing, you're observing your posture. If you improve your posture, you improve your breath. Observe how the way you sit affects the way you have access to aspects of your breathing. All right? So last 30 seconds, winding down to open nostril inhale, narrow nostril exhale. Be in no rush, absence of aggression, pushiness. After you finish your next long, slow, narrowed nostril exhale, relax your hand and definitely take a restorative breath or 3. All right. Now the exact opposite is in pratiloma. With the grain, narrowed nostril inhale, both nostrils, open nostril exhale. So restorative breath and raise your hand. Narrow both nostrils and do your inhale breath. Open both nostrils and do exhale. And continue. The pratiloma breath is longer inhale than exhale. And open nostril exhale. Okay, you're on your own. Now, only you can find out through experience what is faulty practice. So, facial tension creates faulty practice. It shakes your mind in a certain way because you're working with your nervous system, not just your muscles and your bones. So, if you come out of practice and you feel irritable, if there's a sense of heaviness, like you're dragging, not lightness, and any kind of restlessness instead of calm focus, then you know those are symptoms of faulty practice, and you have to adjust the next time. So while you're doing it, in between each cycle, keep checking. Make sure that the eyes are receding. The corners of the eyes are releasing back to the temples, and the temples are receding. Withdraw the skin of the temples. Make it thin, relaxed. And remember, if your posture improves, your breath keeps improving. Then standardize your practice so you find your rhythm. I have been providing the rhythm previously. You have to find your own rhythm. How do you work in harmony with yourself? And then keep right on going in a smooth flow. Narrowed nostrils, inhale. Slow exhale through open nostrils, shorter than the inhale. So the anuloma and the pratiloma technique are what they call Vrtti, not the same wave, not the same frequency, not the same vibration, because you have longer inhale or longer exhale. So they're not supposed to be a 1-to-1 ratio. So last 30 seconds, finish off the narrowed nostrils inhale, open nostril exhale. Be as smooth, continuous, and similar in terms of the time and the location of where you're opening the breath. As you finish your next exhale through open nostrils, slowly relax your hand and take a few restorative breaths. Now we're going to move on to Surya Vedana, which is inhale, open right, exhale, open left for half of the technique, and then I'll say inhale, partially closed right, exhale, partially closed left. And here we'll be doing Vrtti. We'll make a 1-to-1 ratio, so the same amount of time spent, same depth, same volume, and same quiet sound on the right side as in the left, whether the nostrils are open or closed. Let's get to it. Establish your posture. Exhale your breath, raise your hand, block left, inhale right. Block right, exhale left. and continue. Open through the right nostril, blocking the left nostril. Then blocking the right nostril, exhaling through the left nostril. All right? And you're on your own. Surya Vedana, piercing the sun channel. This brings us to a new way of working digitally as we move closer and closer towards Nadi Shodhana, the alternate nostril technique. So this is an energy-producing technique. Right nostril breathing awakens your left brain as well, so your rational functions get really primed. But as we're doing this, even in your posture, we know that anatomically the bottom lungs, the bases, are wider than the apices, but you want to broaden the top of your collarbone. It's as if you wanted to make the top lungs broader than the bottom lungs, than the base of the lungs, to the best of your ability. Always remember, do not shorten the height of the body on your exhalation. Now, as you're paying attention to the speed or the velocity of the breath and the quantity, the volume of the breath, you must learn to fill from the base to the brim, to the top, without strain. So only you can find out when you're forcing, when you're pushing, when you're working in harmony with yourself. No one else can tell from the outside. It's all an internal feeling. So continue to wrap your awareness, concentrate your awareness around what's happening inside yourself, and go right on. Inhaling through open right. Now, narrow the right nostril. Exhale, block the right, narrow the left nostril. And keep that up. Inhale right, narrowed nostril. Block right, exhale left, narrowed nostril. Now see the difference in the control between narrowing the nostrils or partially closing them as opposed to keeping them wide open. And anywhere along the root of the breath, if you not feel like you're getting enough, you manipulate it by widening or narrowing till you get the control and smoothness and streamlined flow that becomes effortless for you. All right, finish the one that you're working on now, which is going to end with the narrowed left nostril exhale. And then drop your hand and go back to restorative breathing. And now the final cycle, Chandra Vedana, inhaling open left, exhaling open right. Halfway through we'll switch to partially closed left nostril inhale, partially closed right nostril exhale. All right, next restorative breath, exhale, let's get to it. Raise your hand. Block right, open left inhale. Block left, open right exhale. Block right, open left inhale. Block left, open right exhale. And you're on your own. Now remember, the size of your nostril holes are different. The size of the nasal cavity and the sinuses might be different. You may have had a deviated septum, or you might have had asthma or smoking problems. But you'll notice, because of the shift in the circadian rhythm, you breathe differently on one side than the other, and it shifts every hour to hour and a half. So notice that, take that into account, and open or narrow the nostril as is necessary. Now, the interior sternum, that's the part of your breastbone from your collarbone to the xiphoid process that is broad. It has an external part of you touching the skin, and it has an internal part closer to the inner organs. It's the inner sternum that has to extend like the exterior sternum till it's in contact with the skin. And that will make the inhale nourishing and exhilarating. Notice that every time you exhale, the navel moves back. You have to allow the belly to move in and up without contraction, just by relaxing it, so it allows the breath to really move into the chest, to open the chest, and not just the bottom of the ribs, but the middle and upper portion of your lungs. All right, now start switching for the last part of the breath to block right, narrow left inhale, block left, narrow right exhale. Remember, the height of the spine, the girth of the chest stays the same even on the exhale, and if you're doing any restorative breaths, even during the restorative breaths. So it's narrowed nostril left inhale, narrowed nostril right exhale. Create your Visama Vrtti technique, same wave, same frequency, same vibration, same depths. Compare the ability to do the Surya Bedna with the Chandra Bedna. This is the moon breath. It's much more calming. Left nostril breath works on the right brain, so this is where your intuitive function really starts developing. And wrap yourself in the wall of inviolable silence. All right, finish off the round you're currently working on and do one more round of narrowed nostril left inhale, narrowed nostril right exhale. Then drop your hand and do a few restorative breaths. And experience the part of your mind that delights and rejoices in concord, concord within yourself. Spread that concord in your relationship with other people. And gently, eyes closed, raise your head, and then gently open the eyes. How do you know you can stop practices? Well, if you're a bhakti, Ramakrishna says, when hearing the name once, you shed tears and your hair stands on end. You don't have to perform devotions anymore. Then only will you have a right to renounce rituals, or rather, rituals drop away of themselves. So if that doesn't work for you, then remember, samadhi is ultimate silence. Like they say, the bee is buzzing as long as it's not sipping the honey. But what happens once it starts sipping? Bzzz. The butter is sizzling in the pan till all of the fat comes out, then it becomes ghee, right? Watch that moment when nothing happens. And then always finally, the water gurgling in the pot until the pot becomes full. Glub, 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 you pull it in the water. Glub, 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 glub. Enjoy your samadhi.